My look at the Spider-Man trilogy concludes Spider-Man 3. Hard to believe it's been 10 years since the movie came out, and much has changed since then. It's not to talk about, so let's get started. Pick up my events in the last movie, Peter Parker started Mary Jane Watson, trying to balance do Spider-Man being seen at Columbia University to his Dr. Cook Connors, who I forgot to mention in the last movie is played by Dylan Baker. There's just Spider-Man being idolized by people in New York. Mary Jane's also fledgling stage actress on Broadway. Peter also plans to ask for Mary Jane's hand in marriage. And Aunt May gives Peter the ring he should give Uncle Ben asked for a hand 50 years ago. Yet, not everything is great. Even though Peter tries to tell Harry about what happened to his father, Harry will have none of it, as even creative, instead of new government for his equipment. Meanwhile, a mysterious alien symbiote attaches after Peter's motorbike as Flint Margot, played by Thomas in church, trying to live place to his $20 penny. If it sounds like a lot of plot threads in this passage, that's because there are. It's further complicated by the fact that he's one where they killed Uncle Ben, and becomes Sam in a freak accident. Still, while this is a very overstuffed movie, I do like how the film gives one somewhat more sympathetic characters in the comic. Instead of being a petty criminal, he wants to provide for his daughter's illness. On his way home, Peter's attacked by New Goblin with actually a fairly impressive action scene. The film had a massive budget of $258 million, and even after 10 years, some pretty fairly impressive effects. Much like the last movie, there's very good camera for cinematographer Bill Pope, just having previous worked on films such as Matrix, died in the industry today. Anyway, Harry's injured falling off his glider, and while Peter's able to get into the hospital in time, he still sustains a memory loss. The plot though the fall is somewhat confusing, but it at least makes more sense as Dane to harm Wayne Spider-Man and spell for his illness. No doctor basically doesn't work that way. I must say, Sandman's waking is a very impressive effect, and how this scene Flint reaches his daughter's pendant is no dialogue is probably one of the best scenes in the movie. It's arguably the villain that's most well done. The same cannot be said for Venom and will cross the original conduits. In the meantime, Spider sees some also an uncontrolled Crane, including one Stacey played by Bryce Dallas Howard, delighted her father, who's also captain of the NYPD and played by character James Cromwell. Ironic given his own legal points right now. Back at the Daily Bugle, Peter's not competing with Statter Eddie Brock, played by Trevor Grace. While I may not hate the portrayal like others do, I can definitely regret that he was miscast in hindsight. Even though just trying to capture the character's egotism, overall I just feel that based on his demeanor in his own that silly show, he's just way too nice to be taken seriously for someone to be the psychotic Venom. J. Jonah Jameson played again with J.K. Simmons, Ben's officer on both. I forgets them, and further than criminate Spider-Man in his words with his hand in a cookie jar, will get the staff job as photographer. I still love his performance and using the as part of his character. After the meeting, we get our obligatory cameo from Stan Lee, and Peter comes to see Harry after he comes back from the hospital. Still, they don't get the whole point of this amnesia thread. Especially all this is part of an arc that could have been present the whole trilogy. I could even go so far as to say we could cut this up, but I wouldn't affect the story at all. To a lesser extent, I think MJ being let go from a play to a middling press could have been handled better as well. Well, the Electric Toy Elements also have a Spider-Man, it turns out Gwen is related to them by a cup of coffee. Also, Raimi wasn't the biggest fan of the character. I believe he couldn't do it justice, but the actor Tracy told him he had no say in the matter. Gwen was originally going to be a random civilian. Spider-Man then swoops in to the key to the city. There's also arguably the silliest of the trilogy, especially without MJ saying that some plays appear to use upside down kiss for sweet on Gwen. Still, the fight with the Sandman and the armor car is actually pretty nifty. There's a clip in the CGI and stunt work. Despite his double amputee boxer Buckster Humvee. I also like that those things have hold up sort of here, they're planned inside the car. Since we see movies so many times, just start noticing things with them in the theater. The day for Peter's proposal to MJ doesn't go well. I also met this with Chicken film Bruce Campbell's came out maybe today. Not everything that's happened since then. When Peter finds out Flint was mad with the kill Uncle Ben, he's outraged. His new perspective on Ben's death was also fine from Cliff Robertson for his death in 2011 at age 88. Even with the creative license takes of previous films, still Smith and Robertson have tons of characters dead, and both the cast really loved working with him. As Peter falls asleep at the sound of the police scanner, the symbiote from before bonds with him. This to give him a new black suit. The symbiote also brings out and implies more aggressive traits of its host. After brush with Eddie, Spider-Man catches one of Flint robbing a bank and confronts them back in a subway tunnel. The fight that takes place is actually fairly well made, but also double-edged sword for the movie. While the action, much the facts remain impressive, the story and characters aren't as well developed as one of the first two films. Also, I met Peter's emo phase a bit as awkward as mine was, and sure enough, it comes quite as good except for me. I was 15 when I first saw this movie, what do you want from me? Also, Peter's landlord, Mr. Dickovich, is still somewhat amusing. And also turns out he's played by cute actor Ilya Baskian, who has been quite a few movies over the years. Basically, if you need a Russian actor a bit part, here's your man, whether it's Air Force One, Transformers Dark of the Moon, everything in between. As for this other subplot of hate try between Peter and MJ, it doesn't make much sense for the same reason as any niche subplot and goes away of course as it comes. Given how he's seen the images dead father not already held Spider responsible for Norman's death, wouldn't that have been enough? Also, given how he knows Peter's Spider-Man now, there's really a smart move on Perry's part. I believe my associate Sean's making more of a cinematic extra pointing this out too. Once Tony Stark, not a great plan. Predictably, Peter confronts Harry at his mansion, even though the fight is serviceable. Feels less like a culmination of the arc or the trilogy and more like a scuffle between kids on a playground. Regardless, the fight ends when Peter quite literally throws one of Harry's pumpkin bombs back in his face. Honestly, I'm surprised you that Harry survives this, and people stop being stabbed as Harry's dagger was a paper cut. The next day, Peter confronts Eddie about his picture, and despite how he acts towards him, this time he actually has a point. Eddie's photos are fake. Last I checked, forgery was illegal, and even Jameson, who wanted the picture more than anyone, claimed he to keep it. Eddie ends up getting passed for a statue favor of Peter. What follows are better or the worst, one of the most memorable scenes in the movie. Peter's fighting through New York to James was get up and drive your funky soul. Again, this isn't that different from the phase when I was 15. Much like my goth and rapper phases, it went as quickly as it came. Still another admitted flawless movie this tone. While the first two had some silly scenes, they still took themselves relatively seriously. Here, the campier scenes often clash with serious ones. One scene is Peter swing dancing in a jazz club. The next has him angsty on the roof of St. Patrick's Cathedral. That's not how hyperbole, it's actually how transition happens. Now there's mood whiplash for you. Anyway, Peter's ghost symbiote can be weakened by sideways church bells as some moves of venom. Eddie just happens to be asking for God's help in killing Peter Parker. I kinda think you're looking for the other guy, Eddie. Once Peter breaks control of the symbiote, it chooses Eddie as its new host. Again, despite arguably being a contender for my favorite Spider-Man villain, Topher Grace does not fit the character at all. Even though the design stuff isn't that bad, it's very hard for me to take him seriously as a throw when he has that voice, face, and face of Eric Kwon with that 70s show. Kinda looking forward to the reboot of Tom Hardy, to be frank. Mary Jane is then captured by Venom and the Sandman, and Peter asks her to help save her. Harry's still reluctant, but decides to join Peter after his man's burner comes clean about how his father really died. Again, I still think a pumpkin on the face probably caused more damage and want Peter to be back here to the hives. So the final battle takes place at a construction site. I must say, it's not only precursor to overgrown battles we have now with blockbusters. I am pleased to to get sick of being a victim, as only she throws a cinder block at Venom. Harry's able to subdue the Sandman, but he's mortally wounded by Venom. Peter is able to use a sonic a bunch of pipes to separate Eddie from the symbiote and use one of Harry's Pokemon to destroy it, and Eddie is killed and he runs back into flames. So we end this film and trudge on the bittersweet notes. Peter forgives Flint and himself for Ben's death, and Harry and Peter reconciles Harry dies, and Peter and Jerry and Mary Jane tie the knot, because I continue the relationship. They never actually see it. Let's just say about the cameras one more day, the better. Besides, my forte is film, I could definitely understand what somebody wanted more from this one. That's Spider-Man 3, and even though the story stuff at least for the Raimi trilogy, it's actually not as disappointing as I remember it. Regardless, this film was actually so much more mixed than its seniors. The whole 63% rating on Rotten Tomatoes is rating that means divisible on fans this day. Still, the film is not as good points of story and characterization as good as the first two. It has a host of scenes, the action scenes, special effects are relatively well over 10 years. There were admittedly things that could have been handled better, and even though it's not the best superhero film I've ever seen, it's far from the worst. It still made tons of money when it came out, with $336 million in the US, $890 million worldwide. The world plans for a fourth film never materialized. Even though I may not have been the biggest fan of the Garfield films, I would at least admit they tried to do something different. Not every element worked about them, but in many ways, maybe it was for the best of Sony being with the surprise out of this movie. Although Sony and Marvel have planned next, I just hope I can get as much out of it as I have with these movies. final rating is 3 stars out of 4. Thank you for letting me share my thoughts on the trilogy with you all. I hope to tell you everybody as much as I see Spider-Man Homecoming. Bang.